Hi sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash the subscribe button, turn on the notification so you get notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all, and I want to say a very big thank you to every one of you for always coming back to watch my videos and subscribing. Always coming through for me. You all are super awesome. Thank you so much. So today we'll be talking about this white man who was talking about reparations, how Americans are always balking at paying reparations to black Americans. And he said that if America decided, like, if they are not agreeing on paying reparation, it means they are going against the Bible. He gave so many reasons why, and a lot of people are actually agreeing to what he said. And somebody actually made a comment that that each time she looked at her grandparents who were born in the mid 1970s, and they had pics of their parents who were slaves, and people were like, yeah, this is just to let you know that it was not long ago. You got what I am saying? And a lot of people are actually agreeing to what he said. And you know what? Stay glued to the screen. Let me roll the clip. We'll come back to talk about it. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. So straight up, let me roll the clip.
When white people in the United States balk at the idea of paying reparations to black Americans who descended from slaves, they disagree with the Bible. Reparations are a form of compensation or restitution made to those who have suffered injustice, particularly those in cases of racial inequality, discrimination, and slavery. The idea of paying reparations to black Americans is not a new one. It has been a topic of discussion for decades, if not centuries. However, it has gained renewed attention and support in recent years, following the resurgence of the Black Lives Matter movement and the growing recognition of systemic racism in American society. As a Christian, I believe that reparations are not only a matter of justice and equity, but also a reflection of God's character and values. In the Bible, we see numerous examples of God's concern for the oppressed, the marginalized, and the downtrodden. From the Israelites' liberation from slavery in Egypt to the ministry of Jesus among the poor and the outcast, we see a consistent theme of God's love for those who are on the margins of society. One of the key biblical principles that underlie the idea of reparations is the concept of restitution. In the book of Leviticus, we see God commanding the Israelites to make restitution to those whom they have wronged. Leviticus 6, 1-5 says, "If anyone sins and commits a breach of faith against the Lord by deceiving his neighbor in a matter of deposit or security or through robbery, or if he has oppressed his neighbor or has found something lost and lied about it, swearing falsely in any of all the things that people do and sin thereby, if he has sinned and has realized his guilt and will restore what he took by robbery when he got it by oppression or deposit that was committed to him, or the lost thing that he found, or anything about which he has sworn falsely, he shall restore in full and shall add a fifth to it, and give it to him to whom it belongs on the day that he realizes his guilt." This passage emphasizes the importance of making restitution to those who have been wronged, and not just restoring what was taken, but adding to it as a form of compensation. This principle of restitution can be applied to the issue of reparations to black Americans who have suffered centuries of enslavement, discrimination, and systemic oppression. Another biblical principle that supports the idea of reparations is the concept of Jubilee. In Leviticus 25, God commands the Israelites to observe a Jubilee every 50th year, during which all debts are forgiven, all slaves to be set free, and all property to be returned to its original owners. This was a radical idea of economic justice designed to prevent the accumulation of wealth and power in the hands of a few, and to ensure that all members of society had equal access to resources and opportunities. The idea of Jubilee can be seen as a model for reparations in that it seeks to address the root causes of inequality and oppression rather than just treating the symptoms. By forgiving debts, freeing slaves, and returning property, Jubilee seeks to create a more just and equitable society, one in which everyone has the opportunity to flourish. As a Christian, I believe paying reparations to black Americans is only a matter of justice and equity, but also it is a reflection of God's values and character. Through the biblical principles of restitution and jubilee, we see a model for how we can address the historical and systemic injustices that have plagued our society for far too long. While the issue of reparations is complex and contentious, I believe that as Christians, we have a responsibility to seek justice.
All right, it actually did not stop there. You also went further to explain so many things about reparations and why it is very necessary and important that United States pay Black Americans their reparations. And you all know I have been preaching about this reparation, and it's something I am 100% in with you all. You know what? Just stay close to the screen. Let me roll this video, and then we'll come back to talk about it. So here we go.
Hey, do me a favor. If you like the content, if you are committed to dismantling systemic racism, you found the place for education. I'm Scott Lloyd. Thanks for following, and thanks for liking my videos. The issue of reparations for Black Americans has been a topic of significant debate in the United States for many decades. The idea behind reparations is to compensate descendants of enslaved Africans for the atrocities and injustices inflicted upon their ancestors. While some argue that reparations are unnecessary or too difficult to implement, there is a compelling case to be made for why the United States should consider paying reparations to Black Americans. One of the main reasons for reparations is to address the legacy of slavery and racial discrimination that continues to impact Black Americans to this day. Reparations would help to acknowledge the deep-seated harm that was done to Black Americans and their ancestors, and take a meaningful step towards rectifying this wrong. According to Thomas Kramer, a University of Connecticut researcher, by calculating the number of hours a man, woman, and enslaved children in the United States worked from 1776, multiplied by the average wage prices at the time, and finally assessing and compounding interest rate of 3% per year to overcompensate for inflation over the last 200 years, the most fiscally fair estimate to date of what reparations for slavery could cost is between $5.9 trillion and $14.2 trillion. Now that is a lot of money. But think about the huge investment in our future, in the future of our nation. And admittedly, it would be difficult to figure out how to do this practically. But imagine the benefits. It doesn't necessarily have to be money. We should explore scholarships, tax benefits, economic incentives aimed at flourishing for Black communities and individuals. Because this isn't a handout. It is what this country owes for its original sin of slavery. There remain families in our country that continue to benefit from the residual wealth that resulted initially from institutionalized slavery. White culture, the white dominant culture, also continues to benefit from systemic racism. I'm amazed that so many are unsupportive of our government to simply consider this issue. Germany paid reparations to the families of victims of the Holocaust. South Africa made reparations for institutionalized apartheid. The United States should explore how this could be accomplished in light of 250 years of slavery, 90 years of Jim Crow, 60 years of separate but equal, and 35 years of racist housing policies for African Americans. Would this be a difficult issue? Would it be complex? Yes. But so is going to the moon. We do it because it's right. And as Americans, we do not shy away from hard things, to echo JFK. Despite the progress that has been made in some recent decades, Black Americans still earn significantly less than their white counterparts. and are more likely to live in poverty. This economic disparity can be traced back to slavery and the systemic racism that has followed. Reparations could also help to promote healing and reconciliation between Black and white Americans by acknowledging the harm that was done to Black Americans and working to rectify it. Reparations would be a powerful symbol of the commitment to justice and equality. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners, to set the oppressed free, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor. May the followers of Christ proclaim the same message.
All right, this is all we got from the video, and I must say that, okay, I am going to leave his TikTok handle in the comment section, so you all, for those that want to follow him. But I am not gonna lie to you, he has been preaching this for a longer time, and he is still preaching it, and I really appreciate his work. And this is where I am gonna draw the curtain. Thank you all so much for all the support. Let me know what you all think in the comment section, and see you all in my next video. Bye for now.